So the month of November is recognized as National Prematurity Awareness Month. Zooming in with us now, a mother who's been sharing her story with the hope of inspiring and encouraging parents who have experienced the birth of a premature baby. She's Nadia Nivens-Jarrett, mother of 4-year-old Jayla, who was born prematurely but who is now just bubbly and wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Nadia. It's so good to see you. All is well?
Thank you for having me, Simone. Yes, all is well. It's great to be
Gosh.
here and great to see you as well.
Thank you so much. Just reading the synopsis of your story just made my heart, I don't even know what it did. It flipped, it came back. I can only imagine what it must have been like for you. When you got pregnant with Jayla, you already had a stepson and a son. And
A
when you and your
stepdaughter
husband
and a son.
found out that you were pregnant with your first girl, you were so excited, right? And
Yes,
then 37 weeks in?
yes.
What happened?
So 37 weeks in, it was a regular day. I woke up one Sunday morning, no stress or anything, and my water just broke. And I didn't understand what was happening. I wasn't looking for it at the time. And I called my doctor and said, I don't know what's happening, but it seems like my water is broken. And she said, you need to head to the hospital straight away. So there was no waiting, don't change clothes, just head straight to the hospital. So, my husband took me. It was just a whole whirlwind. We end up in the hospital, heard that I had premature rupture of the membrane, which is very common. I hadn't heard about it before because, when you're getting pregnant, you're looking at all these things, but you don't necessarily think of all the ways it can go wrong.
Correct.
Nobody plans for that.
Correct.
So I get into the hospital, I get admitted, and, I'm told, you're not leaving. You have to stay here until the baby comes because it's just too dangerous. You're open now to getting infections and that type of thing. And right now it's just about preserving life. So I was supposed to stay for 4 weeks, hopefully, because they wanted at least enough time because, at 37 weeks, that's not enough time for the baby to develop properly. Anyway, long story short, after a lot of trials and, medication, she came 2 days later. April 11th. She came Tuesday morning. I just woke up. There was bleeding. I didn't know what was going on. And my doctor came and checked on me and she's like, no, we're having this baby now. And, at that time, and you're seeing her there now, that was her first day in the hospital. She was about at one point something, about 2 pounds. She was. She looks bigger in the picture, but believe me, she could just fit in the palm of my hand. And it was just a whole journey from there because you don't get to hold and cradle your baby when it's premature. She goes straight into the neonatal intensive care unit, which is we call it NICU.
And she was in NICU she spent 45 days in NICU, Nadia. She suffered seizures, multiple blood transfusions, jaundice, punctured lungs, permanent scarring, and life-threatening infections.
Yeah.
But she's still here.
She's here. Listen, trust me, miracles happen, and it's really just God. It's prayer. The doctors at the hospital. Just there's so many people to thank, and I am so grateful because even being in the NICU environment, a lot of babies don't make it, and you see that. You see the pain of mothers having to leave or parents having to leave without their child. Even our very own founder, Sarika Sterling, a lot of people know her story. She was pregnant with triplets and she only left with one. So, it really is an experience that I am so grateful for her. I mean, if you see her now, you'd never know.
No, we see pictures. She's beautiful. At one point, she needed a ventilator. They told you that she had stopped breathing and she turned blue. Needed a ventilator. Yes. No ventilator, and then ventilator.
Yeah, she needed a ventilator, they said. So she needed a ventilator at the time. She just stopped because the thing with being in the NICU, one day they're okay, the next day, they're crashing. So I got there that day, and she, she stopped breathing. She turned blue. And the doctors are like, well, at this point, they were trying manually, trying the best they could, because every ventilator that was there, they didn't have enough for the babies. And there was a baby on one, so you can't take a baby off a ventilator to put another baby on. And
so they were bagging her?
Yeah, so they were manually, there was a nurse actually manually pumping her with oxygen, as in if that nurse stopped working that day, she wouldn't have been here today. So, it was just crying and torture and trying to get the ventilator in. Luckily, one came and, she was on it for about 2 or 3 weeks. But, some babies aren't that lucky. And I know of mothers personally who, there weren't any. I know a mother who lost her twins because they couldn't get 2 ventilators. So, and that's one of the reasons why, the foundation was started, with all of the resources. And believe me, the healthcare workers, the nurses there, they try their best.
I want you to tell me
really trying to.
A little bit about that foundation. But first, I want to talk a little bit about parents who have to go through this, right? Which is perhaps why the foundation was started. I'm not sure. You can tell me. But you speak of your experience being in that NICU environment with the non-stop beeping of the machines and the constant washing of your hands and the painful and invasive procedures done on the babies, the feeling of hopelessness and vulnerability and helplessness and loneliness and the uncertainty as to whether your baby is going to make it, and how mentally and physically draining all of that is. Is that why the foundation was started? Is it kind of a support group for mothers who've been through this, parents who've been through this?
Yes, that's exactly why it was started. A lot of us, and you don't really get that experience. As I said, you're reading it now and it's so real to me, but you don't get that feeling until you're in that environment. And, a lot, when you're in the NICU, you don't have, you can't have family come in, it's really just the parents. So there is no support really there. So a lot of us as, who were there at the time as mothers, as parents, we kind of just had to lean on each other because we were there in the moment. Strangers coming together in this traumatic experience kind of built what happened. And then with our founder, Sarika Sterling, I mentioned before, she had lost 2 of her babies. And this is after, the first one within the first few days. And the second one, that she lost, he was, in the hospital for about, a few months. So imagine having to sit through that torture of, coming every day and having to know that you had 2 children just lost. And, she said, and we used to all talk, and, she said she is, she doesn't want this to happen to anybody else. We should not be losing babies because of this. Babies die every day, but when it's because of a resource issue or because of, something that could be helped, or, even just more support, because you, as I said, you don't really know about the experience until you're in it. So, trying to find resources, people, information, is just a lot coming at you. So that was one of the reasons the foundation was started. She really got us all together, gelled together, and partnered with, the hospitals and with the consultants at the hospital. So we do have, a lot of people across our board, people like Dr. Crosdale and, a lot of persons who were there before that's on our board, and nurses, healthcare workers, and so on, that we've just really developed this unit to support preemie parents and babies.
Yeah, Nadia, we have to go, but can you tell us about that unit and how folks who are watching who have had this experience and need the support that your foundation provides, how can they get in touch?
Okay, so you can reach out to us on our Instagram page. I mean, we just had a blood drive. Preemies need a lot of blood, and that's something that we do regularly. So please look out for that. It's Premature Awareness Month, which is why I'm here.
Wait, give me the handle for the Instagram first.
It is Preemie Foundation. Just look for Preemie Foundation of Jamaica, and you will find it on Instagram. Or you can visit our website. Our website is Preemie, PREMIE.sasjm.com. We have an oxygen drive going on because we want to donate oxygen to babies. They really need it. That's something that's well needed. So if you visit our website, you'll get information on that there. We have 5 more oxygen tanks to go. We've collected 15 so far. Thankful to people like Tammy Chin and Wayne Marshall, to Toyota Jamaica, who's been so supportive of us. We have also a sip and paint coming up at the end of the month. And we also partnered with the UDC to light the place purple. So they're lighting up all the parks purple. And we're in purple today because that's the color of prematurity awareness.
Oh gosh, I wish I'd known, because I would have worn purple today.
Oh.
Sorry, Miss Nadia. Nadia, we have to go.
No problem.
Such an amazingly, moving and incredible story. I'm so glad Jayla is good. Please give her our love.
Thank you.
Here on
Thank you very much.
Good morning to Sarika and all the folks who comprise your organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well.
All right. Nadia Nivens-Jarrett.
Bye. Take care.
Mother of 4-year-old Jayla, who was born prematurely, went through it, but she's still here. We give God thanks for that. All right, switching lanes now, something completely different. We're talking about a situation in Trinidad where locusts are swarming some communities. How is it affecting